Why did I buy this? Well, it was pretty cheap, it's pretty weird, and I have a problem. I'm sick, okay? And I like it. This is the eBay Games series, where I buy computers from the 4 parts or not working section of eBay. And this is one of my more questionable eBay purchases, but I'm actually pretty excited about it. Typically, I would try to find a decent broken PC for cheap and see if I can fix it. But I went a little bit of a different route this time. This computer, the OptiPlex 745, was $35. I saw a bunch of these listed for closer to $25, but they didn't come with this adapter, which is also kind of unique, but more on that in a minute. The system may not be completely salvageable. I'll try to get it running, but mostly I'm interested in the general oddness of it. For example, the first thing I noticed was the unique and unusual case, which I do like the look of, and it may even have some modification potential. With the strange shape and features, it could be a really good sleeper build. And I might harvest the case to paint and customize, and to hold newer components. That's the main reason I bought it. Anyway, that made me want to look more closely, where I noticed this on the back. On the back of the case, it has this inexplicable 8-pin connector. This is the first time I've seen anything like that on the exterior of a case. At first, it actually gave me kind of a fright, and I was forced to defend myself with a barrage of swift pool noodle strikes. It left me no choice. Apparently, this machine uses an external power adapter that it actually came with, but instead of using one of the more common connectors, it's powered through this 8-pin connector, which I have to say, this is definitely a bonus. A lot of times when you buy a smaller or mini PC that requires one of these adapters, it isn't included. So you end up having to buy the adapter separately. The thing being included is pretty cool if the adapter works. Does it work? I don't know. Should I have just bought the $25 one that I saw? I don't know. I have problems with impulse control. Another bonus, we do have a sticker with a valid Windows key. I have a few of those now, but never hurts to add one to the collection. I'm going to tear this device down as we're not done with the sort of weird, unique aspects yet. But first I want to see if I can get it running, which honestly I don't have high hopes. I really don't have any spare parts for this model, but we'll see how it goes. Alright, so I've connected everything and tried to power on the machine, but I'm getting nothing. At this point, it seems like it's the adapter that's the problem, which means I should have got the $25 one, but that's okay. I have a few more methods to try, and I'm not even upset about it. I don't even care. I was looking more closely at this connector, and it seems it's just like the kind of 8-pin ATX connectors you would see on a standard motherboard. It's just on the exterior of the case. I'm going to try to use a standard power supply that has that kind of connector. No, I'm not. I didn't look at it closely enough, and the shape of the pinout on the Dell is square, rounded rounded square, and on the power supply it's rounded square square rounded. I was going to use a second PC to run the primary power to signal to the power supply that it's okay to turn on, and then use that 8-pin ATX to connect to the Dell. But Dell just destroyed all my hopes and dreams. Obviously, even if I got it powered on, that would be no way to run a system every time. I was mainly just curious if I could do it. And I also want to see what operating system is on this hard drive in here. I'm hoping it's running Windows XP, which it might be, considering the sticker on the side is for Windows XP. It's always nice to have a legitimate copy of an older operating system. So before we break this down, I'm going to pull the hard drive and throw it in another machine to see if we can get it running that way. Alright, I haven't had this baby out in a while. This is an OptiPlex 755. So if the hard drive's good, we should be able to fire this up. It's making noise at least. We have some kind of action. Oh yeah, looks like it's XP. So that's not like a huge deal, but that's a nice little bonus. I was hoping it would have XP on here. Though I think it might be too old to use this wireless keyboard and mouse. Alright, let's see what we can do here. Oh yeah, we got movement. We have mouse movement. Well, I'm locked out now, so we'll have to put this adventure on pause. But I will get into this system. Alright, so it seems like I'm not going to get my little strange machine running, but that's alright. I mainly bought it for the case anyway. Most likely it's going to host a sleeper build in the future. But let's go through the rest of the breakdown and check out the inside of the machine. Because there's some interesting, kind of weird things to see inside the case as well. Starting off, there's kind of a unique setup with the processor. Once I remove the wind tunnel, we have a passive heatsink type cooler on the CPU with two small fans on either side. One of the fans is set to blow across the heatsink, and the other is positioned as an exhaust, which is pretty neat. I actually haven't seen anything like that before. Right beside the CPU cooler, there's another really strange kind of heatsink. A heatsink that doubles as a Chevaux de Frise. But instead of protecting Winterfell from the army of the dead, it's most likely designed to keep out small goblins. And also, Lil Cloud, who's kind of a small goblin in his own right. Now that I've removed the HDD, we can see that there's another small fan that's beneath the drive. Likely because for something this compact, they had to work in a lot of cooling. Which also explains why there's multiple ventilation areas all across the case, even where there aren't any fans or especially warm components. Overall, I think this is a pretty interesting purchase. Like I mentioned, I mostly just bought it to use the case as a sleeper build, so that should be interesting. And I'll be able to harvest some of the components like the fans and the cooler, maybe the caddy as well. There's a few things in here I can use. Plus, I get a bonus hard drive complete with a copy of Windows XP, so that's pretty cool as well. Anyway, that's it for this one, so as always, thank you for watching.